I'm Bobby Duke and we sell knives up in here, and you're gonna want this knife because it's only $19.95. And if you call right now, we're gonna throw in another knife. An identical knife, yes. An identical knife for the price of one knife at only $49.95. If you call right now, we got people waiting. They're sitting there waiting for your call. That's their only job. So give them something to do and call. Look, 2 knives for the price of one. Only $199.95. We'll throw in a half-drunk Dr. K. 2/3 drunk Dr. K, and a bar of zinc pewter. Come on, only $299. I don't want you to have these knives because I want these knives. So just call now, call now, and then we'll get the knives sold out to you. I want that. So let's go ahead and make that. This is a bloke of wood. Maple wood, to be exact. And you can tell it's that because that's the way it is. Anyways, back when I was a strong young pup, one of my hobbies was to carve wooden knives. And back then, all I had to use was my greasy elbows and a whittling knife. But since not everyone has a whittling knife, we're gonna keep things simple and only use a hobby knife to carve this knife that's also a hobby. No power tools.
Get that cone out of my face!
And you're gonna need a bunch of blades. This is 150 number 2 blades. That's because it's a number 2 handle. Gross. For 10 bucks. If you get the branded X-Acto ones, it's gonna cost you almost $1 per blade. I will put a link down in the description to all of this stuff. I got an Amazon affiliate links, whatever. Go click down there. The very first step to designing your design is to design it. But before we do that, we're gonna need to mark our center lines, both on the face and the side. And the reason we're gonna do that is so that we can keep symmetry, because without knowing where the centers are, that will be hard to do. Now that we have our center line, we're gonna go ahead and mark a line all the way around where the handle will stop. Then there's gonna be a little space in between, and then the rest will be the blade. Like that. This is totally arbitrary. You can put this anywhere you want. Now, I'm gonna make 2 marks on either side of this line on the upper half where the blade side is, and that will just be sort of our starting thickness. A little trick on how to draw a straight line on something like this without a ruler is let the pencil lead stick out just a little past however far you need it, and you can use your finger as a guide, and then see how the pencil is going straight, but my finger is acting as like a little bumper. And so I can draw almost a perfectly straight line. See how that almost looks like I used a ruler. But I didn't, it's magic, oh. Same thing on the other side. Now that you have your lines drawn all the way around, we're gonna remove all this material up to this line, and then all this material up to this line. So all that will remain is that center piece. Yeah, I'm gonna show you how to do that. But before we actually get started carving, I'm gonna show you the technique I'm gonna use in order to remove this with a little demonstration. So, one moment please. So, pretend this chunk of clay is our piece of wood. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna start by taking our knives. So pretend this is our hobby knife, and first we're gonna cut down. And then we're going to cut a notch back this way, like a wedge. And we're gonna keep doing that back and forth until we get down low enough. Then we can start carving this way. And we may have a little slope here. Then we turn it around and come back this direction up to where we carved down to. Now we have a whole chunk taken out, nice right angle. This is totally not to scale. It's gonna take lots of whittles, lots of back and forths, but that'll give you the idea. You just do that again on this side, and then you will have that profile like we're trying to get to. Okay, let's do it. Okay, this is actually kind of hurting my thumb. I think it's because it's so small and my thumb is like, I'm gonna try and do a little bit of alteration to this. I got some of these little makeup cotton pad things. I'm gonna wrap some around, put a little tape over it, like this. Yeah, it looks super stupid, but hopefully it feels a little better. Okay. Okay, now that we have it to this point, we're just gonna flip it on over and do the other side. Wow, this goes by so much faster with editing. If only it worked that way in real life. Anyways, now that we have that done, we're gonna do a little profiling on the handle. And the way I'm gonna do that is by laying the handle section on top of some papier so I can cut it out to be the exact same size. Then draw in a center line. Excuse me. After that's done, we're gonna draw on the shape we want our handle to be and cut it out. Then lay the pattern on, matching up the center lines, then trace it out on both sides. By creating the pattern, we're able to replicate the exact same shape, which is what we want to do. Okay, now that that's all drawn on, we're going to obviously remove this, that, and we're going to do basically the same thing we did here, but instead of going straight, we're gonna slope. Hack down, and then hack over, then we will continuing, okay?
No, Bobby, the music doesn't work.
Wait, what's wrong with it?
It doesn't do it for me. I need something more brooding and dark.
Oh, okay, how about this one, freaking psycho?
Yes, this is the music that will cause the dark flower of creativity to bloom.
Oh! I made like a weird paint stirrer. All right, video's over. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you followed along and made yourself a cool paint stirrer as well. Okay, bye. All right, now that we have both this profile and this profile roughed in, the next thing to do, this is totally unnecessary, and I'm not even gonna spend a whole lot of time doing this, but I wanna make this actually flat. It'll be easier to draw the next design pattern onto it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get like a flat surface and I'm gonna slap on some sandpapier, but not just any sandpaper. There's this stuff, and it is, besides the inexpensive X-Acto blades. By the way, I never said this. What's great about them is you don't ever have to sharpen a knife while you're carving. That's why I like them. It's so convenient. But anyways, there's this stuff. Sandpaper on a roll, but it's not just sandpaper. It has a sticky back. So you can peel this off, slap it down on something, and instantly you have a flat, stuck-on sandpaper surface. And you may have seen in some of my other videos. Hold on. You can make, with popsicle sticks, emery board type sanding sticks. I don't know how I lived without these beforehand, so if you need to, you know, sand your fingernail, my fingernails, so I don't have fingernails, or, you know, whatever you want to sand. It is incredibly convenient. So I'll put a link to this stuff as well from my Amazon affiliate thing. I changed my mind. I'm not gonna use this just because I don't want to. I'm gonna use this. This is great for scissors. I need fingernails. Heck, this never happens. Stop embarrassing me in front of my friends. What the Okay, this is ridiculous. Not sure what's going on. There we go. Slippy slap. And just like that, we have a sanding surface. Technology. Now, we're just gonna on both sides of this, and then we're gonna use the little emery board thing to sand that up. After making everything flat and redrawing our center line, we're gonna do exactly what we did before. Cut out a little paper template, trace it onto both sides, then carve both sides. Lock that. Okay, now draw on the blade, which I made the exact same way as I made these templates. I think you know what we're gonna do next. All right. Exactly how we did this area. Cut down, cut back in, cut down. Keep notching it out until you've got this whole area just carved away. And then we'll do this area. Just flip-a-dippy-do over and start carving this way. And one thing I like to do is I like to actually start here, and then as I go, I slowly like chip away down. Just watch. Stop talking. You guys talk all the time. You're trying to interrupt me. I don't get to talk enough. Starting to kind of look like a knife, huh?
No, it doesn't! Oh, I missed it.
Dadgummit, Dabchick. Okay, well then what does it look like?
It looks like the penile bone of a Eurasian grey wolf, obviously.
Okay, first, that's disturbing. And second, I think you have some anger management issues and you could use some therapy. Which makes this a great time to talk about this video's sponsor, BetterHelp.
Oh, good grief. Is this the segue we're going with? What a freaking corporate shill.
Just in case you didn't know, BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that I personally use, which allows me to have therapy literally anywhere that I have my phone or computer. Not only can I have video sessions, but I can also text my therapist if that's what I prefer. There's a journal I can use for personal reflection, and group sessions on a number of different topics available every day. BetterHelp carefully makes sure all of their therapists are well qualified, and their customer support is there to help if I have any questions. Another great feature is that if the first therapist you're paired with doesn't feel like the right fit, you can easily switch to another one until you find someone you really connect with. BetterHelp has changed my life. I'm totally serious. The insight and perspective I've received from my therapist has literally changed my life for the better, and it can help change your life too. So please click the link down in the description, or you can go to betterhelp.com/BobbyDukeArts and sign up to get 10% off your first month of therapy.
This all sounds great, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want me as your therapist. Oh, hello, little one. Back for more, are we? Oh, crumbs.
Oh, Dabchick. The next thing to do, we have to hack these corners off to make it a nice round shape instead of kind of a square. And in order to do that, we don't want to just, start carving away like crazy. There is some steps to make it easier and more consistent. I'm going to show you how to do that, but I'm also going to use another visual aid. Just use your imagination that this is the handle. Also, in these areas right here where it joins up with this little square that goes around, you're gonna use the chop down method, chop back in method. The first thing we're going to do for this is chippy chop that corner until it's gone. So once you get that first sort of facet in there, we're gonna take off this corner. And I bet you can guess what we're doing next. And then once you kind of have 3 different facets, you can start trimming off those corners as well, but take ever smaller cuts to slowly create that radius. And then when you use sandpaper, that'll essentially get rid of all the other tiny little ridges that you'll create. Then we're gonna go ahead and redraw our center lines onto the handle and the blade's edge. And while we're at it, let's create a little taper. Using our center line as a guide for symmetry, I sand the blade, adding a little more pressure towards the tip so that more wood is removed there. So, we've got the taper und Putin. Putin. When he farts, is he fartin' Putin or is he tootin' Putin? I like when he's rootin', tootin', fartin' Putin. Anyways, back to the knife. Now we're gonna switch back to the handle. We're gonna put we're just gonna draw a little ring, like collar all the way around, right around here, then all the way around here on the end. And then we're gonna carve down and in, so the same method we've used all throughout this knife, that will sort of differentiate the middle section, which will be the actual handle where we're gonna put all the sweet little designs. I don't know, I think it'll look cool. So we're gonna do that, and you can't tell me I can't, because this is my world. I make or break the rules. Putin. You may have noticed I just drew a line all the way around that part. Well, there's a reason for that. I'm gonna go ahead and slope back from this line to this collar. And just because I don't want to like be carving in and cutting into the handle, I'm actually gonna chop the corners off. And then clean it up and feather it on in there. Okay, now that we have all of that done, we're gonna switch our attention back to the handle. We're gonna need to mark on some lines and divide that into basically 4 parts. So we're gonna line them, go do, not, and go. What I'm gonna do, one of these each is, now, basically, here, let me show you with the clay. What I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna take my knife and I'm gonna run it down straight and just follow that line all the way. Then we're gonna start hacking at it from this side and then this side. You know, I'm gonna go a little deeper with that. Also, the way to go deeper is just to keep repeating this step. So now you can see there is a V-shaped notch going all the way around. And now we're gonna start chipping off this hard edge and make that rounded both sides. Now, when you look at it, it's got a nice sort of butt cheek effect, nice and curved, going into the crack. Okay, let's go. So, we've got our little bumpy boos all the way down. The next thing we're going to do is we're gonna draw on some lines. Starting at the intersection of the part that I just carved here and this line, I'm gonna draw a line diagonally up and intersect with this point. Then I'm gonna go right here, this point to that point, this point to that point, and then on this one, I'm gonna do this point to that point, this point to that point, and all the way around, all the way down, alternating which direction we go. Then we're gonna get a little crazy and we're gonna draw lines in between those lines, like here, and draw up to here. So split the difference, draw another set of lines all the way around, swip it around, do it the other way all the way around, back and forth, until we're done drawing all the lines in. Okay, now that we've got those lines drawn on, we're gonna go ahead and start carving where we put those lines drawn on. Basically, we're gonna use the exact same technique that we did for these lines, and we're just gonna do them on a diagonal. Remember that butt that I carved into clay after we made the V shape? We're gonna go back and start hacking off those high spots and corners to slowly add the curve. See, now that wasn't so bad, now was it? Like I said, if you break something down into its just little constituent steps, you can take it from complicated looking and then reveal that it's really not that complicated. So I'm gonna sand this, and then the handle, this part, will be completely done. And then we're gonna move to this part, right here. We're gonna make it look kind of like a flower, but only when you look at it from this direction. Also, you can buy a t-shirt like this one, but with less pet hair on it at BobbyDukeArts.com. Okay, now the way we're gonna make that flower is we're just gonna take our existing line here. Let me get closer. And then we're gonna draw a line in between the corner, then right there. We're gonna do that all the way around. Then we're gonna flippity-do it over, and we're gonna draw from that point down, beep, and then back up, beep, and then down, beep, beep. So it'll create this like kind of W shape. And we're gonna do that all the way around. Then we're gonna just carve away everything inside the W. And it's the exact same technique we've been doing the past several steps. And just keep on cutting down until you create curved swoopy dupes. Like that. Now we're just gonna whack off those corners so they're rounded and make a nice smooth transition. Then we're gonna whack off these corners. so that the tips of the flowers come to a nice, pretty little point. Like that. Dadgum, my PVCs are getting rambunctious. You ever have where your heart just like flip-flop in your chest? That's actually what used to give me tons of anxiety until I figured out that they're completely harmless. But yeah, anybody else get those too? I get them a lot, and it's super annoying. I definitely could get less if I drank less coffee and also the crack. That probably contributes. Wait! Hold on! Okay, sorry to interrupt, but I have something important and exciting to tell you. This video you're watching right now, the knife that I'm making, I'm going to be launching a kit that will come with everything you need to make this knife. In the kit, it will be a box, and in the box, blades, pre-cut piece of wood, knife, patterns that you can cut out, and other things. We haven't quite figured out everything yet. Also, this is gonna be kind of like a Kickstarter in a way, because I don't have an actual product to show you. Basically, ordering the future product that I will be coming out with as soon as possible. Like, it's not gonna get to you by Christmas, sometime after that, but really, it's the thought that counts. So just order them the thought. Also, there is a chance that we'll just have to refund your money if we don't get enough people signing up for it. There's like a certain number of kits that need to be sold before I can actually get them made. So please, it would mean a lot to me if you would just order it, because
I like money.
No, honestly, I've priced it literally as low as I can go, $29.99. I really just want to get this kit into the hands of people so they can experience the joy that I get from art. Go check it out, click the link, and now back to the video. Anyways, we got our little flower doohickey. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I'm not 100% done with it. Also, this part is totally optional. You can just skip ahead and move on to the blade. But what I want to do is, see how that's just super flat across the top? I want to scoopy it out just a little bit and lower the inside area down next to the blade. So yeah, see, I just think it looks a little better. A little more majestic. So now let's finish this dadgum thing. And the way I'm gonna do that is, I marked out 3 dots on both sides. I just measured them, you know, so that they'd be the same on both sides. Those are just gonna be my guides. Now I'm gonna connect them, just a curve. I'm just gonna freehand this. Pay attention! Ugh. You guys ever heard a baby unicorn sneeze? Aw. Poor little guy. He's got allergies. See this line and this line? Imagine a flat plane connecting those 2 lines like this. It'll be at an angle, and that's kind of how we're gonna hold our knife. So we're gonna come at it, cutting this edge off, but not all the way. We're just gonna remove the bulk of the material. Then we're gonna go back with sanding sticks and finish it up. Hey guys, it's finished. Thanks for watching, Dukies. I hope you liked this tutorial. Also, I hope it shows you that you don't need expensive tools or materials to make something really cool. Also, remember there's a link in the description to pre-order the kit to make this exact knife, so please go and pre-order it so it actually becomes a reality. Also, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to one of my best friends in the whole world, Barnaby Dixon, for puppeteering Dabchick. You should absolutely click the link in the description and go subscribe, because if you like art, engineering, singing, storytelling, and puppeteering, you will love his channel. Barnaby's genuinely one of the coolest and most talented people I know, and I want you to know him too. Okay, here we are at the end of the video, but just so that there's continuity with the beginning of the video, I'm going to then record the bit that you saw at the beginning. I'm gonna record that now, okay? So just hold on a second. I'm Bobby Duke Arts, and we sell knives up in here, and you're gonna want this knife because it's only $19.95. And if you call right now, we're gonna throw in another knife. An identical knife, yes, an identical knife for the price of one knife at only $49.95. If you call right now, we got people waiting. They're sitting there waiting for your call. That's their only job. So give them something to do and call. Look, 2 knives for the price of one, only $199.95. We'll throw in a half-drunk Dr. K. 2/3 drunk Dr. K, and a bar of zinc pewter. Come on, only $299. I don't want you to have these knives because I want these knives. So just call now, call now, and then we'll get the knives sold out to you. Ah! 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 Oh, that didn't break. Dang it.